Hello, everyone. This is Stephanie Anderson of StephanieLAnderson.com, and welcome to today's educational webinar. This is the intermediate or secondary training in our series. I am so pleased to introduce our special guest presenter, Mr. Rick Dunlap, president of BacStat Corporation. He is gracing us with his presence and wealth of information today. Mr. Dunlap has over 40 years of experience in the beauty industry, and for the last 27 years has worked with BacStat Corporation, helping to develop products and procedures to correct hair problems and gain an understanding of how chemical services affect hair, which is very important to all of us in this industry. Now, the mission of BacStat Corporation and Mr. Dunlap is to provide education with an emphasis on truth in science, which has not changed in over 45 years. Now, personally, I have benefited from utilizing the products and science developed by BacStat. And as you will learn, providing corrective hair care services puts you in a very small percentage of stylists that can work a difference for your client's hair. Performing treatments that work is one of the best ways to establish a name for yourself. So what Rick has to say today is really valuable information. It's life-changing information, so I recommend that you just don't listen to what he has to say. Get yourself a pen, a notepad, a piece of paper, and take notes. It really will be worth it. So please help me welcome Rick Dunlap, president of BacStat Corporation. Rick, it's all yours.
Well, thank you for that. Boy, it's a beautiful morning out here for sure. I'm always excited to talk about what we do because we spend a tremendous amount of time and effort into making sure that what we're doing is correct. And then after that, then I try to make sure that we've covered our bases. And then my job is to make sure that we can find a way to make it streamlined because, you know, some of these correction techniques that we've come up with, they're a little bit, they take a little time. And time is one thing that many of us really can't afford. So we're always trying to streamline services and to condense it down and to do a better job and do a faster job and a more efficient job. So, and I do have an announcement today on a new product. So, so we're really excited about that. So, first of all, let's recap what we do here. If you've listened to the first seminar, you know that I went over the 4 important things on correction of hair. The first thing is to get it clean. The second thing is to moisturize with water, not oils, because oils are not moisturizers. And I'm going to repeat that because that is the one thing that I still see so much with hairstylists that work with BacStat. They still cling to the oils because it's a quick, seemingly fix, but it's not a fix, it's just a cover-up. So the third thing is Interset, which contracts swelling. And then through 7 years of research at Baylor Medical, Mr. Devon found out that it was actual swelling was the physical damage to the hair and not protein loss. Because since the hair is a dead substance, if you lose protein, then part of the hair is actually missing. So, and we've all experienced that behind the chair. But, and then the fourth thing is the broken bond issue. We've discovered that the bond breaking, the protein and the cysteine sulfur bond, is a big problem. Not just when you do a relaxer or a curly perm or anything like that, but it's a big problem with anything that you do to the hair. Blow drying, curling arm, even shampooing. Physical manipulation of the hair, like brushing and things, that can compromise bond structure too. So when we started investigating this bond structure thing about 5 years ago, we it was really a revelation to us. It's like the missing link that we've been looking for to make a complete circle of this hair correction business that we've gone into. So we've been in the hair correction business now since 1969. So we put on, like I said, we put much effort into this. So the first thing you do is, you know, we know how to correct hair now. So we've got our shampoos, we've got the rinses to kill the chlorination and to kill the sulfates in the shampoo and to start the wetting action. We've got a way to reduce the swelling and contract the hair and to normalize the hair. We have a way to rebond the bond structure. But to me, probably the biggest hurdle, especially with curly hair or hard textured hair, is the actual hardness. That is the biggest hurdle that we have, to break that hardness so we can introduce water moisturizer to the hair and that we can effectively clean better and get the cuticle to lay back down. And for penetration of the rebond and for the interset. So the hardness is, to me, is the biggest hurdle. So we have several things that we have produced to help break that hardness down so we can get penetration. The first product is new hair. Some of you out there will have used new hair and kind of know what I'm talking about. New hair is a really interesting product. Is that it is a real thin cream, and when you open the bottle, please be aware that you do not put your nose to it, because it is chock full of ammonia. And I've witnessed, because when I go to in-salon seminars, I'll hand this bottle to somebody, and I'll say, here, we're going to apply this to the hair first. So they open it up, and the first thing that any stylist or anybody really wants to do is stick it to their nose and take a sniff. So I say, open this bottle, and please be very careful when you go to smell it, because it'll just burn the hair out of your nose. The ammonia is our friend. The ammonia is there to soften the hair. It actually will swell the hair up. That's good. That's what we want. We want to swell the hair up. We want to physically soften the structure of that hair, because if you don't soften it, you're not going to get a lot of response out of any of your products. So, and that's precisely why a lot of stylists tend to go back to the oils, because that gives them a slick, shiny, soft feel. Even though it's a false sense of condition, it's still something that they're looking for. So the ammonia is our friend because we know how to control it. Don't be alarmed by putting it on hair, because we know how to put the water moisture back in hair, and we know how to contract the hair and to bring the swelling back down into place and to normalize the hair. So ammonia is a really neat chemical for hairstylists. For one, it allows us to use hair color. I mean, it's in hair color. It's in perms, curly perms. It's in several things that allow us to do a physical movement of that hair. And but it's very misunderstood. I see colors out there that offer now ammonia-free formulas. Well, what they've done is they've just substituted ammonia, which actually gases off and leaves the hair. Very important to understand that, because the ammonia-free products out there, they do not gas off and leave the hair. Those chemicals stay in place. So you've got to be able to deal with that later too, and that can be a problem, especially after 2 or 3 services. So ammonia is the #1 chemical for us to go to in this situation because of its ability to gas off and leave the hair, so we can go in and correct it after it's softened it. So new hair is a terrific product that can work in as little as 3 minutes or as long as 15 minutes. So it just depends on what hair you've got and how much softening you think you need to do with that hair. The second product that comes to mind when it comes to correction, and these are tools. I like to refer to them as tools for the stylist to use as a way to manipulate the hair and to bring about the results that you're looking for. Is the product called Klink. And Klink is a really interesting system that Dr. Bernie and we worked for a long time in producing Klink. It is our answer to the Brazilian blowout type products out there, and the keratin relaxers and all that. The Brazilian blowout type products, or the keratin straighteners or keratin relaxers or whatever, those are all bond breaking programs. And the bond breaking program is fine if you understand that and if you understand how to correct that after the fact. So Klink was put in place to manipulate the hair, and it doesn't really relax the hair at all. It doesn't straighten it at all, but it makes the hair more resilient, what am I trying to say? It makes the hair more complacent, where you can manipulate it easier. So it takes really hard, difficult, frizzy type hair, and it softens it down and leaves it in a position that it's much more easy to blow dry and to curl or to straighten, whatever you want to do to it. It makes it much more compliant, much easier to work with. It leaves a beautiful shine in that hair too, because that the ability to lay the cuticle down and make it very slick and very, very shiny. So Klink is really interesting because how it works is it reduces the polypeptide structure in the hair and the amino acid structure. Both of those structures are rather puffy and with a lot of void in the structure itself. So Klink, with time and heat, Klink reduces the actual size of the polypeptide in the amino acid structure in the hair, which is really novel. Dr. Bernie is a genius when it comes to chemistry and physics like that. So Klink actually works as a hydraulics mechanical means of controlling the hair, which means that you take a hair shaft. The hair shaft is full, okay? If you was to cut it in half and look on the inside, there's no voids in it that you can see. It's full. So that hair that grows in a real curly or a real frizzy configuration is stuck in that configuration, and it's hard to bend it out because there's no room left inside the hair to allow easy movement. So I like to illustrate that it's like a piece of garden hose that is full of sand, and it's taped off on both ends. So if you go to bend the hose, it's rather stiff and it doesn't stay in a bend position. But if you remove some of the sand, that hose is actually easier to bend and manipulate, okay? The hair is kind of the same way. So when we reduce the amino acid and the polypeptide structure in that hair, it allows more room for water moisture and allows much easier manipulation of the frizz and the curl and the misconfiguration of that hair. So Klink is a really interesting, unique product that no one else in the world has. It's very easy to use. The only thing that the only downside to Klink is that it takes time and heat for it to work. Excuse me. So time and heat means that the normal hair, it takes 45 minutes under a dryer to really be effective. We've tried to make it stronger, but it just doesn't work that way, unfortunately. So time and heat is essential. You can do 30 minutes heat and another 30 minutes without heat, and that seems to work pretty good too. It also works better that if you layer treatments one on top of another. Say 1 week you do Klink, the next week you do another one, and the next week you do another one. The hair usually turns out to be just the most amazing head of hair that person has ever seen, that they are so thrilled with the results. So Klink is a really good service for me in my salon because it gets a lot of attention with people that have difficult to work with hair. Moving on here, there's another product that I really have grown to appreciate deeply is Blow Dry Heaven. And that's a you can use that anytime. But Blow Dry Heaven is much more than just a topical spray. Blow Dry Heaven is a heat-activated product that physically changes the hair. Now, what I mean physically change, I mean it's active. When you apply heat to the hair, it's active. It's not passive. Let's say you take just something off the shelf at the beauty supply, a thermal protection product or a styling product or something like that. Those are all passive products, okay? They do not physically change the hair. They just coat and plate and lubricate in the hair. Oh, and let me say one thing real quick, that all these heat protectors that you use on the market, they're fine. They don't protect the hair from heat. I mean, if you want to prove that, spray your finger with it real good and then grab your flat iron and squeeze your finger and tell me how well it's working for you. So these heat protectors are not, these heat protectors are not heat protectors. They're just coating products to give the hair shine and a feel. And that's fine if you know what you're doing and you know that. But don't think that they're protecting. They're not. So anyway, this the Blow Dry Heaven is really unique because the hair is made of predominantly protein, and protein is a long-chain polymer. And this long-chain polymer has a certain amount of strength to it. But if you increase the amount of the chain, if you add molecules to each end of that polymer chain, you increase the strength of the hair, and that's what Blow Dry Heaven does. It's a vulcanization process that when you put it on the hair and then you apply heat to it, like you want to mist it on the hair and then kind of dry it just real quickly with a blow dryer, 1 or 2 passes, and then take your flat iron and do 2 or 3 passes over it and smooth it in. You have just treated that hair with a product that will vulcanize the protein in the hair, which means it adds molecules on each end of that polymer structure to make the hair physically stronger. And that's tremendous, especially for fine, fragile hair. But for what's interesting is on real thick, coarse hair, it tends to make the hair easier to work with, especially if you tend to use it every time you shampoo and fix and dry the hair. So Blow Dry Heaven to me is an amazing product. Now here's a real interesting side note on the Blow Dry Heaven. And we didn't have any idea when we designed this product that it would do this. But Blow Dry Heaven is the most amazing curl enhancer, light curl enhancer that I've ever used. A customer of mine came to me one day and she says, well, I sprayed on my little girl's curly hair and it's just amazing. So I started trying that and I was just blown away with the performance that it does on curly hair. We've all had that real naturally curly, frizzy type hair in the chair, and that you spend your time fixing, and you're manipulating the hair, trying to make it look shiny and pretty, and then you end up touching it just too much, and it starts to frizz out again. And then we've all reached over to the counter and grabbed some gel or spray or water or lotion or potion or whatever, and put it on the hair, and it doesn't take the frizz back out. You basically almost have to re-shampoo the hair and start all over again. Well, Blow Dry Heaven does. You can go in and re-mist the hair with Blow Dry Heaven. It brings that curl, pops it right back into place. Now, I know you can use the heavier products, the glycerin-type products to bring the curl back, but that's heavy and that's greasy, and a lot of people do not like that heavy, greasy feel. So for the light curl enhancer, Blow Dry Heaven is absolutely fabulous. You can come in at the end of the day and refresh your hair with Blow Dry Heaven, and it makes the curl shine back in again. It's really amazing. So Blow Dry Heaven is a product that I tend to use on everybody every time. I don't care what kind of hair they have. I tend to use it every single time. We talked a little bit about Aqua Mist or Aqua Gel last time, but I want to expand on that just a little bit. How incredibly important it is for hair to have water moisture inside of it. Now, how we do that is your hair are made of cells, and each cell has a cell membrane. We all remember that from high school. So we use the cell membrane highway to take water moisture into the hair. The water that we put into hair has been specially treated with lots of different ways to follow that cell membrane into the hair. And that is so important for a really beautiful, shiny, resilient, flexible, maneuverable hair. When you get water moisture down in the hair shaft, then that hair is going to hold curl, or it's going to hold straight much longer. Weather is not going to affect it nearly as much. It's going to be much easier to manipulate. And that goes back to that softening thing that I started off with. Once we get the hair soft enough, then we can get more water moisture down inside of it. So very important. The two products is Aqua Gel and Aqua Mist. They're both the same product, except that we've made Aqua Mist into a spray, and the Aqua Gel is still a concentrate. So I've got stylists that prefer one, and I have stylists that prefer the other, and they both work the same. So it's just a matter of preference on how you use it. Another product that is a great tool for us to use is Moisture PreCleanser. Now that is an interesting product because that is a spray that you put on the hair before you even put them in the shampoo ball. And what this does is it emulsifies and breaks down waxes and oils and silicones and things like that, so that when we shampoo the hair, the detergent in the shampoo can actually remove those much more efficient. As you know, that when you shampoo, some things will not shampoo out. So Moisture PreCleanser is a real good way of breaking that down and allowing a much more efficient shampoo. That technology of Moisture PreCleanser is actually in our Rebond product. We use Rebond, and that's a rebonding system that we put on hair to rejoin the bond structure in the hair. We use Rebond. You put a capful in your hair color because it'll make that color so much more vibrant and shiny and much longer lasting. Because when you color hair, you are disrupting that bond structure a lot. And if you put Rebond in the color, you're protecting that bond structure as you color. So you have a much stronger bond structure for the hair color to process on or in. So you're protecting the bond structure, very important. You can use Rebond in your bleach formulas. Rebond will not slow the bleach formula and will not slow down the color formula, because we've made Rebond very alkaline on purpose to help support those alkaline services. It's vital to understand the difference between alkaline and acid. The effective hair products out there are products that either support the coloring and the relaxing and the bleaching, or the products fight against it. So BacStat is about correction afterwards, but Rebond is good for supporting that coloring and supporting that bleaching and supporting things like that. It's so important to protect that bond structure. The condition of your hair will be much greater if you do. Rebond is a good service for hair during the relaxing service, because when you put a relaxer on the hair, you're breaking both bond structures, the cysteine and the protein bonds, and Rebond is there to rejoin the cysteine bond structure It cannot rejoin the protein bond structure. That cannot be done yet. We haven't found a way to do that yet. But you rinse your relaxer off in this shampoo bowl. You gently towel blot it at that time. You apply Rebond to that, and then you take a wide tooth comb and you comb the hair straight while it's in the sink, and you let Rebond rejoin that bond structure there, right there. Before you shampoo or anything, it's important to get the bond structure headed back to rejoining before you start shampooing and manipulating that hair. So very, very important. 5 minutes. Then you apply your shampoo directly on top of that. Shampoo gently because it's still very, very swollen. It's still very tender at this moment. So you shampoo very gently. You rinse very well. You apply a little bit of comb out through there to kill the chlorination, to kill the sulfates in the shampoo, and to start the wetting that we need to do to the hair. We start the wetting process. You rinse very well, you towel dry, and then you apply Interset. Apply quite a bit of Interset. You want to over-apply it just a little bit at this point, because Interset is going to do a couple of very, very important things. It's going to, first thing it's going to do is completely neutralize sodium hydroxide or any of the hydroxides that are used in relaxers. It's going to neutralize it, which means it's going to revert it back to a salt, sodium chloride, which is then rinsed out of the hair. That's how we neutralize sodium hydroxide. If you use the neutralizing shampoos that are on the market, please understand that they do not neutralize anything. Okay? They're not there to neutralize. They're there to just clean the hair. Rebond contains sodium bromate, which is a broken bond neutralizer, which is a broken bond connector. So we neutralize sodium hydroxide by reverting the sodium hydroxide back into sodium chloride. Very important to understand. After you let the Interset, put the Interset on the hair, then we like to use the Aqua gel or the Aqua mist, apply it to the hair, and then you put a plastic cap on their head, and then you place them under a dryer for 15 to 20 minutes. And we call that a thermal realignment. And that allows the full contraction of the hair, the full neutralization of the sodium hydroxide, and full moisturization of the hair. Time and heat. There again, it's time and heat. Remember, heat is our friend when it comes to certain things, because for every 20 degrees you raise the temperature of any active chemical, you double the activity of that chemical. Okay? It's important to understand that and to remember that. Passive chemicals, no, because they're passive. They're not active. So only active chemicals. And most of BacStat chemicals are very active. So time and heat. If the hair is in really good condition and you don't have the time, then when you apply the Interset, go ahead and apply your Aqua mist or your Aqua gel and just place them under the dryer to dry without the cap. And that's going to be about a 75% of a thermal realignment, which is really good still. I mean, the hair comes out absolutely phenomenal. And so then it's so easy to manipulate after that. You blow dry the hair out straight, and then you flat iron it, and it's absolutely terrific. Now this new product that I'm real excited about, right now I'm calling it 5-Minute Hair Blaster. And it's very exciting because it is Rebond, but we've completely changed the formula around Rebond to do some things that before it took 15 to 20 minutes. Now we can do it in 5 minutes. And so Rebond is a service that, and you can use that after a relaxer also. But I've made Rebond to use it on everybody like once a week or once every service that they come in, or they can retell it and to take it home, and that's really a great product for stylists to have. You shampoo the hair, towel dry it, put Rebond on, 5 minutes, and you rinse it off. It does several things at one time. And what I was talking about at the beginning of this was time. Time is very important, so we're trying to condense the time it takes to do several different things. Very difficult to achieve when you're using active products because a lot of active products cannot be mixed together. But we've made this one. It's terrific. 5 minutes on the hair, rinse it off. The hair is rebonded back together. The bonds are brought back. The hair has a tremendous shine because of the water moisture that was infused into the hair. We have a way of supercharging that water moisture into the hair with Rebond. It's real exciting. The body and the thickness of that hair increases with fine hair and delicate hair. On real thick, coarse hair, the body of that hair is more compliant. It's easier to work with. The hair blow dries out and finishes like you've not seen before. It's really amazing. I mean, all you have, if you just email Stephanie, she will forward that to me or something, and we'll get you a bottle of Rebond to try. The bottle of the 5-minute blaster to try. It's really, really a neat product. I have several test salons around the country, and they're just ecstatic about what 5-minute blaster is doing to all of the hair. It doesn't matter what hair it is. It works so well throughout. I think that's probably going to be about it today.
Wow,
I can go on, but yeah, I think my brain is going to start to turn to jello here in a second. So I'm sure everyone else will too.
We
I know
definitely don't want that.
It's embarrassing.
But I'm just so stoked about the information you shared today with us, Rick, and the announcement for the new product, a 5-minute hair blaster. I mean, it's just phenomenal. Or should I say the product knowledge that you provided, which are the tools that we use in our treatment centers and salons. So, no, we don't want you to spend any extra time because, of course, we're looking forward to the advanced training that's coming soon. So we're going to end this session for today, but we just want to say thank you for all the information you provided. Thank you for what BacStat is doing for our industry. And, again, I want to remind those who are able to listen to this webinar of Rick's offer that I would suggest that you take advantage of. Just send me an email. I will forward the information to Mr. Dunlap, and we'll get you your own bottle to try of the 5-minute hair blaster, okay? Okay,
yes,
so.
It won't cost anything. It'll be free to you.
Awesome. Who can be free, right?
That's right.
So thanks again. I can't thank you enough, Rick, for all that you do. Thanks for calling.
It's my pleasure. I enjoy teaching, and I enjoy sharing your knowledge. And as always, I'm always here. If anybody has questions or comments or want to give me input or whatever, I'm always available.
Okay, you heard it here first. Okay, thank you so much. That concludes today's webinar, and we'll see you soon. Thanks again.
Thank you all.